Hey guys, as we saw yesterday, something terrible happened. Notre Dame in France had caught on fire, and a large portion of it burned down. And this was an 850-year-old structure that we were literally watching burn to the ground in front of us. And I was watching it on the news, and this really struck me because just a couple of weeks, I'm actually flying to France, and I've got to do a few TV recordings over there. And one of the things I wanted to do just while I was there, I've never been there before, was to go see Notre Dame and to go inside and take a tour of the place and see it. And you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that anymore. They're still evaluating what had happened. And the French president, Emmanuel Macron, I'm not sure exactly how you say his name. He said, I'm sad tonight to see this part of all of us burn. And, when he said that, that struck with me, and it made me realize, I think right now there's a part in all men that are burning. They may not even know it yet, but there's a part inside of us that's burning. And I began to notice mine. I was in my late 20s, and I would see things on TV about men and how men were terrible, and men do this and men do that, and then the media was just attacking men real heavily. And you know what? I began to search inside myself, and I was like, did I ever have that moment when I became a man? That defining moment that I knew that I was a man, and I was no longer a boy becoming a man, and I had become a man. And I thought about it, and I really couldn't pinpoint anything particular. So I began to do some searching, and I love to read. I went to the bookstore, and I wanted to get a book on becoming a man. And I went to the psychology section, and I wanted to look at the psychology of a man and trying to understand that. And I went through, and I'm skimming through the section, and I'm looking through the different topics and the different areas, and I can't find anything. I can't find anything about becoming a man. Nothing. There's lots of be a strong woman, women in the workforce, and those type of things, but I could not find one thing that was specific to being a man. I asked the employee working there, I said, where are the books about men specifically? And he responded, and he said, we don't carry gender-specific books. And I'm like, yes, you do. I just saw all these, become a strong woman in the workforce, and, strong women today. And but he said, we don't carry anything on men. And, I began to really search inside myself, and I found that something in me longed for that becoming a man. Something in me longed to be a man and to figure out what being a man meant. I wanted to go hunting. I wanted to go outdoors. I wanted to do all this stuff that I never wanted to do before in my life, or had never had a real strong passion to want to do. I noticed that around society, everything was very feminine, and it was a lot of women positive, and even men ourselves, even myself. I noticed that I was probably a very feminine man. Yeah, I have the long hair, but I do the long hair on purpose. That doesn't have anything to do with my femininity. And I'll talk about why I do that at a different point in time. But I just noticed the way that I acted, my thought processes, and what I did, what I was doing in life was very feminine. And I wanted to figure out what it meant to be a man. And I felt like that I had to do it quickly. I had to do it fast, because if I didn't, I was going to lose this piece of me. And in a sense, I was going to lose this piece of me. And I noticed that there was an attack on men, and that the media was going after men, and a lot of stuff. And I really noticed that if I don't figure out what this is right now, if I don't go in there and try to salvage whatever that little masculine part of me is, that's hidden, buried way down, if I don't find that, I'm gonna lose it. And you know, I smelled the smoke. Just like with this structure, if somebody had smelled the smoke and started it, just like with Notre Dame, if somebody had smelled the smoke earlier and had caught the smoke earlier, maybe they could have stopped it. We don't know at this point. It just happened yesterday, so we don't know at this point what happened to start it. And you know, when the French president said, you know, I'm sad to see this part of all of us burn, it made me think there's a part of men that are burning, and they may not know it yet. They may not know it yet. They may not know that there's that part of them that's burning, that's going to be burned alive if we don't stop the way society is influencing us, and if we don't figure out what it means to actually be a man. You know, I smell the smoke, and I smell the smoke in other people. I see it day by day. I see men who are, you know, one of the things I noticed myself was, you know, I noticed that I thought, okay, what's a man? A man is hard. A man is rigid. A man is firm. And, you know, I took a look at myself and I realized I'm not, like, physically, I'm not firm. I got flubby stomach and, you know, I'm soft. And I noticed physically that I was soft. And so I thought, you know what I've got to do is I've got to get in the gym. I've got to start working in the gym. And I've got to do that. And I tried it for years. And it took me a long time to make that switch. And I'll talk about that switch in another video coming up pretty soon. But the second thing I noticed, the second area I noticed that I was soft financially. I was spending money in places and in ways that I didn't need to. I had a really good job and I was making a decent amount of money, but I was spending it. I was spending it as fast as I was getting it. And I noticed that's somewhere that I'm soft. I was soft in my disciplines on days that I didn't have a shoot and I was just I was working at the house, or I didn't have a heavy edit day. I was, you know, I'd sleep in. I would sleep in. I wouldn't get up. I wouldn't get things done. I'd lounge around. I'd play a video game. I'd do whatever. You know, I had no discipline. I was doing just enough to get by. And what I mean by just enough to get by was I was doing just enough so that my wife and anyone that looked at me and thought, that's a good man. That's a good man right there. He's taking care of his family. He's providing, you know. From the outside, that's the way that it may have looked. But from the inside, yeah, maybe I was. Maybe I was being a good man. But was I good at being a man? No, I wasn't. Men aren't soft. Men take a stance. Men get out there and work and grind and make stuff happen. And I wasn't. I wasn't doing that. I was doing just enough to look like it was okay. Just enough to appear that I was doing my manly duty by supporting my family and taking care of my family. And so I began this journey of figuring out what it meant to be a man and what it takes to be a man. And this is something I'm still going on, and this is a journey that I'm still going on. But I want to talk to you for a minute. If you are just a good man, if you're a good man, and you know, you get in there, you provide for your family, you take care of your family, you work, but you're soft. You may not be overweight, you may not be financially in debt, you may not, you know, be poor, but you're soft. I want to talk to you for a minute because that is something that we've got to address. That's something we've got to go after. And if you're that person and you notice that in you, and you smell that smoke, you smell something burning, you smell, you know, there's this masculine side of you that you want to tap into, that you want to reach, that you want You want to figure out what that is. You want to put out whatever's trying to burn that thing to the ground. You know, if you want to figure out what that is and you want to do that together with me, I want to ask that you click subscribe and stick with my channel. I'm going to be putting out videos weekly just talking about my journey. I haven't figured everything out yet. I don't know everything yet, but I know that this is something that I've got to do. And I know that I know there's this quote, and there's this Game of Thrones quote, and I can't fully remember the quote, but it's something about the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. And, you know, so I want to form a pack of men that want to tap into what does it mean to be a man. Let's go on this journey together. Let's go on this initiation into manhood together. And, you know, we're going to take it week by week. We're going to talk about the different things. We're going to talk about what it means physically, what it means emotionally, what it means spiritually, and what it means mentally. What it means to be a man. So I want to ask you again to click subscribe and stay tuned, because we're going to go down this road of manhood together.